I'm Mira, and today we're learning about the 4 primitive data types in Java programming.
I'm Charvi. Let's get to it.
First, let's start with how to declare a primitive type value.
You start with the name of the actual primitive type in lowercase, like integer is int, double is double, boolean is boolean, and character is char.
Then,
Do not say char. Mr. Mulvaney is not going to be happy with you.
Then, you name the variable, which is called an identifier. You can use this new name you've created to go back and reference this new variable. You cannot name the variable any of these keywords because they already have an individual meaning already. Here are examples of keywords you cannot use.
Our personal favorites are try, catch, and break. Try to use that this year. You add the assignment operator, which is the equal sign in this case, and then add the literal value after it, ending with a semicolon.
You can also declare the variable before initializing it, like so. But what are the 4 main primitive types? Let's begin with the integer, or int.
An int is basically any whole number, positive or negative.
Yes, a whole number, which means it contains no decimal values.
Absolutely no decimal values. Let's look at some numbers that an int value could hold. All the numbers on this number line is an int value. Examples of declarations of the int variable would be. Some examples of declarations that would fail are. This one would fail because an integer cannot hold the decimal value, resulting in a compiler error. And this one would fail because an integer variable cannot hold any letter. This would also result in a compiler error.
Next is a double.
A double is similar to an int, meaning it holds a number. But instead of the variable only being able to hold whole numbers, it also contains decimal numbers.
Some examples of doubles are.
Some examples of declarations are.
Doubles are a little different than ints because with an int, you can't assign it a double. That would result in a compiler error. But a double, it can be assigned to int. This variable would automatically cast this int value to a double. For example,
when declaring doubles, it would only result in a compiler error if you tried to assign the double variable anything besides a literal number.
Next up is boolean.
False.
She's right. Next up is a char.
A character, or char, is a variable that holds either one letter or digit.
Don't forget to put single quotes around the char when initializing the variable. Here are some examples.
This is the ASCII table, which includes all char values. When assigning the value to the variable, you have to put the character inside of double quotes, like this.
You can even put an apostrophe as the value, like this.
Examples of these declarations would be. Some declarations that would fail would be. This one would fail because this has more than one letter or digit, so it would result in a compiler error. This one will fail too because it still has more than one letter or digit. When referring to these values, they return the value of a char, like A or B.
Next up is booleans. Booleans are fairly simple because they only have 2 literal values.
True or false.
Yeah.
Here are some examples of Boolean declarations. You could also declare them in a more complicated manner, like so. using relational operators.
But that's a little more confusing.
So we'll only give you a little sneak peek. Like this would simplify to the value of false because 1 is not bigger than 2. And this one would simplify to the value of true because the char A is equal to the char A.
When referring to these values, they return the value of true or false. Nothing else. Are you ready? Review! Charvi, it's been a couple days, and let's see if you remember your stuff. What is an int?
Any whole number, positive or negative.
What is a double?
Any whole or decimal number, positive or negative.
What is a char?
Any character, letter, or digit.
What is a boolean?
True or false.
Nice. Yeah.
Hello, can we borrow a table again?
Yeah,
Of
of course
course.
you can. You get the ugly table though.
Yeah. Examples of declarations. Hey, Miss Nora.
Okay, hi darling. I haven't seen you all year. What I would recommend is put a little note on the door saying you're filming.
Okay.
Next is a double.
A double.
Next is a double.
A double or similar.
Next is a double. 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 Next is a double.
Put your feet on the
No.
table. No, put your feet on the table. 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 Put your feet on the table.
This here is an example of peer pressure. And always remember, you can say no. No. Anyway, thank you for watching.
Are we done?